So, you want to hear a story, huh? One about treasure hunters. Have I got a story for you? Pandora. This is our home, but make no mistake, this is not a planet of peace and love. They say it's a wasteland, that it's dangerous, that only a fool would search for something of value here. Then perhaps I am a fool. But do not be fooled by what Pandora appears to be. There was a legend. Many people tell it. The legend of the vault. My father would always go on about the vault, even with his dying breath. Advanced alien technology, infinite wealth, fame, power, women. So you can understand why some little kiddos who hear the stories grow up to become vault hunters. Well, I have a story you may not believe, but I tell you it is true. The legend of the vault is real, and it is here on Pandora. And let's call it a guardian angel, appeared to guide the vault hunters to their prize. The tale begins right here on Pandora with the brave vault hunters, the guardian angel, and most importantly, me. Next stop, Firestone Depot. Time to gather up your stuff. Who's getting off the bus? You with this.
Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to Borderlands. Unfortunately, I have to skip that because there's no way in hell that song isn't going to get me a copyright on this video. So yeah, we're playing Borderlands. We're going to play as Lilith. Because I like the SMGs in this game.
Don't be alarmed. I need you to stay calm and don't let on that anyone is talking to you. Start making your way off the bus. You don't have any reason to trust me, but I need you to believe that I'm here to guide you. I'm here to help you find the vault. In a moment, you'll be greeted by a funny little robot. Do everything he says. You'll know what I mean when it happens. I'll contact you again soon.
Well, we're here. Don't worry about saying goodbye. I'm sure we'll be doing this all again soon enough. Get off my bus.
Next time.
Hey, it's Claptrap.
Welcome to Firestone. I am CL4PTP. You may call me by my locally designated name, Claptrap. Before continuing, please accept this Echo communication device and heads-up display, provided free of charge by the Doll Corporation.
I am curious how that thing that looks like it fits on a belt or something gives you a heads-up display, because there's no way you're putting something that big on your face. But yeah, I decided to go with Lilith because, you know, Great!
I detect that your Echo device is fully functioning. This way, please.
I did play around, if we look. I have played this a little bit. As you can see, I already have 30 achievements. Surprisingly enough, I have 30 achievements. I've only beaten the first, big boss of the game. Sledge. That's all I've done, is beaten Sledge. But I did go through, I played as the Berserker, I played as the Hunter, I played as the Soldier, and I played as Lilith. And, also this says 15 minutes in co-op. I just turned on a second controller. But, I enjoyed playing as Lilith more. So I went with her. Now, because it's the Game of the Year edition, Baja's bigger blaster and hive mind. See, that's what I was afraid of. Which is why we're going to quickly pop out of this. Which may seem weird, but you get 2 of those every time, right? You get 2 gearbox legendaries every time. So I had actually started a couple of sirens before, and for some reason I didn't think, I should record until I get the one I wanted, but I didn't want to sit through the intro every time I started a new character to try and get ones I like. Now, unfortunately, they didn't give an SMG legendary.
See ya next time.
But oh, okay, apparently we're starting right here. But they did give different
Welcome
ones,
to
and you get 2 at
Firestone.
random.
I am CL4PTP.
And at the very
You
least,
may
I
call me
wanted
by my
one that I
locally
want.
designated name,
Technically, I
Claptrap.
could have kept restarting
Before
until I got 2 I
continuing,
wanted,
please
but
accept this echo communication device and heads
I
up
wanted the
display,
sniper
provided free
at
of
the very
charge
least for
by the
Lilith.
Dahl Corporation.
Not that she's like obviously a sniper, but she does pretty well with the sniper. Obviously, SMGs are her main weapon type, although I'm not entirely sure if that really matters in this game. I mean, I imagine it just makes your efficiency or whatever
Great.
it is go
I
up
detected your
faster.
echo device is fully functioning. This way,
But yeah, I
please.
wanted to make sure that I got the sniper at the very least, so that we had a very good long range one. Because I mean, the gearbox legendaries are pretty damn good. We also got the rocket launcher on this one. But yeah, 800% critical hit damage. It is absolutely insane. This is also a game where exploration, it has its rewards, but seemingly not for very long. Like, if you're like me and you like to explore the beginning area, you'll run around and you'll find a bunch of like those little safes that are everywhere for some reason. Apparently a bunch of people bought safes and then just left them out in the middle of nowhere. And it really gives you the sense that, like, you get rewarded for exploring, because, I mean, we got the 2 safes there, we got the toilet there, because, it's Borderlands, so they, have ridiculous shit in it, which is fine. They know they have ridiculous shit, and they aren't trying to take themselves seriously at all, which is good. Like, if Borderlands tried to take itself super seriously, which it does, at the very least in Borderlands 2, it doesn't really stick very well, It seems more out of place than anything. But yeah, I will say that there seems to be very little reward for exploring in this game. Because, like, obviously you get money, you get ammo, you can get some weapons. But you get a lot of weapons anyway, you get a lot of money anyway, and you get a lot of ammo anyway, even if you don't, like, explore. And a lot of the time, if you do explore, all that happens is you end up going into areas that you will get sent to on a quest later. And then, it's not, like, really all that exploring, is it? If you get sent there anyway. Ugh, God, that's right. Yeah. There we go.
Let's see what we've got.
Oh, look at that, and they gave us a sniper right off the bat. And a Jacobs one as well. So as you can see, that one there, 69 damage. Technically, already more damage than this. But also, as you can see, only 200% critical hit damage. And it even has less zoom. Not that this one has a whole lot of zoom, but... Also, I think the drift on my right stick is getting worse, and I may need to get a new controller for this. I mean, I do have another controller here. I do have a wireless controller here that I could probably use. But I prefer the wired one just so that I don't need to worry about charging it. Oh, what the fuck is that? A Marcus bobblehead? $431. I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, like I said, I played all the way to Sledge and beat him without seeing one of those as Lilith. I played, honestly, not very far with Brick and Mordecai. And as Roland, I played, I think, up to the point where I was supposed to go and face Sledge. I think Sledge is like the next stop for him, but yeah, I never saw one of those before.
Step right up. This is the new U station. When you use this device, your DNA profile is automatically identified and stored. Please activate the new U station now.
Yeah, so this is, you know, you can change the name, no real point, nobody uses it. You can change your head. But I don't know, at least in this game, in Borderlands 2, there's a fuck ton of them. In this game here, I don't think that you get any other ones. Why not? Let's put some specs on. And you can change the color. We'll keep it red since you know it is Lilith. Yeah, why not? Let's just go full red, shall we? And then once you get skill points, as you can see, you can reset them there. And eventually you'll be able to fast travel with them, which takes a lot longer to unlock than I thought. Yeah, and he's just explained to you how respawning works. Yeah, on the off chance that you don't know, in this game, you just respawn at the nearest one of these poles that you've passed by. Like, the last one of them that you've passed by is where you'll respawn.
I'm over here.
Uh-huh.
Wait, is that... Oh no, not again!
So you don't actually have to run here, but they have also fixed this, because I do believe, like, as you can see, there's an invisible wall here so you can't jump up. And I'm pretty sure, outside of the Game of the Year edition, like in the original version, you could jump up there and jump over the gate. I'm not 100% sure, because it's been, like, fucking forever since I played the original one. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure you could.
Using us as target practice is not part of our programming. And open! Yes! Ow.
Now, unfortunately, the guns in this game actually have, like, bullets. And by that, I mean, like, they're not... A lot of games, especially single-player games, will have what you call hit-scan weapons, which are basically, when you pull the trigger, it hits the target. Like, there is no travel time between you pulling the trigger and, well, their head exploding. Whereas in this game here, there is. Oh, God. Which is fine for the most part. I mean, the only time it kind of sucks is when you are sniping, if I'm being honest. Like any other weapon type, it's fine that there's travel because you're not using it from nearly that range. They also have a habit of doing that, where it's like... Oh my fuck. Where, like, you pull the trigger and they move. Like, they hear the bullet coming and move out the way, which is obviously ridiculous, but it does seem to happen. Alright. But yeah, it's a damn good sniper. Like, the Gearbox legendaries are pretty fucking good. And consistent. A lot of people praise this game for, like, their weapon parts system, where it's like, if it spawns with, like, a Jacob's barrel, it'll have more damage. If it spawns with a Malawan barrel, it'll have a higher chance of elemental effect or something like that, you know. Stuff like that. I mean, more than the barrel changes, but honestly, I don't really care for it because all that really does is make it so that the chances of you getting like a really good gun is slim. Go. But yeah, it just basically means that like the odds of you getting a really good gun are super slim because there's like so many combinations that are like taken from just different manufacturers that don't really mesh well. And I've never really cared for it.
More loot? Don't mind if I do.
Wow! That looks like it could do some damage. Okay.
Yeah, almost as much damage as anything else that I have. I'm not entirely sure if those pistols actually matter to anyone when they get here, because like all the characters, even in the base version, started with a weapon.
Sure I can do it.
That is probably better than those pistols, but whatever.
Quick, this way.
Borderlands is also one of those games where I played it when it came out and I didn't really care for it. I never once would have described myself as a fan of the series, but I still bought Borderlands 1 and 2. I bought the and finished them and perfected them. I bought the pre-sequel but never finished it. But we'll go over that once, you know, we get to it. Because it was a dumb reason why I didn't finish it. It had nothing really to do with the game. But I still played them often. Like it's just like very weird. Like I don't like this game, but I want to play it, you know. Man, that first that SMG is not good.
You gotta squeal before we cook ya.
No. Well, I mean, if you actually manage to cook me, maybe, but we'll get a better SMG at some point. It's not difficult to do. But yeah, I don't know why Borderlands has pretty much always been a game series that's like, I don't like it, but I want to play it. Which I realize is like, well then clearly you do like it, which is fair. But I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, I enjoy everything except this one thing about the game. But that one thing is such like a major part of the game. Which for me is basically like, once you get further in the game, the enemies end up taking so much damage, whereas you end up taking so little. Oh no, this guy is missing. That, it just becomes such a chore to do anything.
Excellent. I knew you were the right choice, friend. Now go. I'll contact you again soon.
But yeah, I don't know. And like I said, it's the weapon parts that I don't care for. Which is obviously such a big part about how the game, or how you progress in the game and everything. Oh yeah, also we should probably go over there because Claptrap won't shut the fuck up until you actually go over to him.
There is no cause for alarm. This new visitor has resolved the problem.
Well, shoot, I thought I was a goner that time. Damn bandits won't leave us alone. Had to lock the place up tight. I'll let you in. Come on. Damn it. Blasted circuits are on the fritz again. Give it a go from the switch out there, would you?
Hey, we got our first quest, technically.
Now that you've selected a mission, you will notice that a new icon has appeared on your head's upper side. That's a waypoint. The waypoint will tell you where you need to go, depending on what mission is currently active in your mission log.
Alright. So the way I plan on doing this for the videos is just the fuck? Do every quest. Like that's my goal. Or that's how I'm planning on doing this, is just to do every quest as they unlock in the, you know, level order that you should be doing them, which we may end up behind in levels for them, we may end up ahead in levels for them. I guess it just depends. I mean, when I was playing as Lilith there and I made it all the way to Sledge, I was pretty much at or past the level required, but when I was playing as Roland, apparently I wasn't doing as much killing or something. I didn't think that I was doing less, but you know, at the for the most part, I was actually like a little bit behind. And by a little bit behind, I mean like not even a full level behind, you know, like I would level up during, like, after a few kills in the quest. To get it. Or to be at the level that the quest wanted me to be at, so.
Is there no end to my power?
Also, that happens a lot. Like, we just leveled up from looting that. It always made me think before that, like, oh, that's because you must get experience for, you know, looting stuff. That's not what it is. If we go into our quest log here and we hit Y, there's challenges here that you can do. So like the first one, you know, assault rifle, pistol, shotgun, SMG, and sniper kills, human enemies, critical hits, stuff like that, right? And then if we go down here, here we go. What's in here? Open 50 lootable objects. And because I always, you know, would loot everything in Firestone for, you know, that little bit of a boost right at the beginning, I would pretty much always level up there from looting that because I would complete that challenge. And it, for some reason, I never clued in that that was there before. Like, obviously, this time playing it, I did, but it took me so many tries. Also, this is the golden key chest. We have 75 golden keys. How I have so many, I have absolutely no idea. But if we open that, we get weapons. We could get pretty decent weapons out of it. And you can even get legendaries out of it. I don't know which legendaries. At the very least, you can get the gearbox ones. I don't know if you can get other ones. And it's Dr. Zed.
Thanks for opening her up again. The name's Zed. They don't let me cut on folks anymore since I lost my license, so now I keep the med vendors around here up and running. From the vendors, you can buy all the healing you could ever want from a real doc. Thankfully, without the vault is a myth you'll get yourself killed lecture. I might not have a med school degree, but when you get shot, you'll be happy I'm here.
Alright. So yeah, as you can see, 48 experience. It even tells you which ones are the story missions, which is nice. And that's just what he had told us, so. Outside of Firestone, just past the gate and across the road, you'll find several skag dens. A skag is a vicious four-legged creature, and they'll eat anything, including you. I want to know if you can handle yourself in a fight against some of these beasts, so head on out there and kill some of them for me. If you're still in one piece, then come on back. Yeah, unfortunately, they don't read all of
Now
the,
that we're done with all that, please follow me and I'll open the gate
they don't
for
read
you.
all the quests for you, but... In all honesty, I'm not sure that I've ever read the quests in this game. I mean, none of them... I will now that we're playing, but... None of them have ever really been like, I should read this type deal, you know? But yeah, as you can see...
Looks like he got under Nine Toes' skin. Don't worry, he'll get what's coming to him.
But
You
yeah,
did
as you can
it.
see, we
I
do
knew
take
you were
quite
the
a,
right
like
choice.
we can just
Oh,
charge in and
the
be
poor
fine.
robot needs our help. Would you
That
kindly give him a
doesn't
hand?
last for very long. Claptrap has been shot by the bandits, but the damage looks minor. Perform a quick diagnostic, then see if you can find a repair kit somewhere in Firestone. You might be able to revive him.
I can see the code.
That
I
little
want to
robot
say
is
that
hurt.
this is
He
also...
isn't going to last very long without attention.
I don't know
Why don't you
how,
look around for something to fix him up?
but I want to say that in the original you may have been able to get outside of Firestone as well. By doing some weird jumping or something, but I'm not 100% sure. I've never really been much for glitches and exploits and whatnot. Once you've tightened a few screws, replaced some burnt wiring, and judiciously applied a little duct tape, Claptrap is rolling once again.
Good as new, I think.
The shops have new
Again.
inventory,
He
despite
seems to be
none
okay.
being
Now
open
is the
right
time
now.
to get moving and play your part in the journey to come.
Oh, come on,
go.
let's get down. Come on, everybody. Check me out.
Yeah, so now he'll head over to the bounty board. And that's where we'll find him from now on, I think.
And be sure to say no to all the traps that await you on Pandora. I shall now continue my...
So yeah, these are skags. They're little, like, armored dudes. Their weak spot is actually in their mouth, and whenever they
I'll
move,
see you in a few.
their mouths actually do open up just ever so slightly, and you can pop them in there, as you can tell there by the couple of criticals that I got where they weren't roaring at me, but for the most part, they need to be roaring at you to do it. Once we get up a bit in levels, or like up a bit further in the game, we'll find ones where shooting them in the head really doesn't do shit. You can also shoot them in the hind legs because there is an armor back there, but that still doesn't do a huge amount of damage. And then if you can get them, but if you can get them to open up their mouth, you do so much damage. It's ridiculous.
What do you want? Spit it out. I keep the medical equipment working, more or less.
I guess those skags didn't give you much trouble, eh? You clearly know how to handle a gun. That's good, real good. You're gonna need it because I've got something else for you to help me with. If you're gonna head out of town, you need a shield. A shield forms an invisible barrier around you that absorbs damage. Normally you'd buy one from the med vendor here, but this one took a bullet during the bandit raid. Fortunately, it just needs a new power coupling, and it so happens there's an old vendor we can use for parts. It's right outside of town, down the road east. Go grab the part, install it into the med vendor, and buy yourself a shield. And with that Marcus bobblehead we collected, we'll have more than enough for the shield. But yeah, I don't know. The shields in this game are weird. Because as I said, like later in the game, you take very little damage compared to enemies. And that's including a shield. Like, later on in the game, you can have like the best shield in the game. You'll go up against enemies and like their first shot, bam, and your shield's gone. And it's like, why even fucking bother having it? Like, that's more or less why I ended up not liking, like, not finishing Borderlands despite having started it. Like Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, I started the game so many times. At least in the first one, I very rarely went past Sledge. Because that's more or less, from what I remember, where the game just started being like, yeah, you need the shield so you survive. But at the same time, you know, the shield's going to break, like, immediately. And they're all gonna, and then you're just taking damage yourself. And it's like, alright. And Borderlands 2... Borderlands 2, I think more or less when... what is it called, though? Sanctuary? Is it called Sanctuary? when Sanctuary takes off and starts flying, and like teleports away or whatever, I do believe is when I more or less stopped.
Just tell
Would
me.
stop
You can call
playing
me
that one.
Zed. Everyone else does.
So yeah, this is the med vendor. You can buy med kits so that you can use them out in the field when you get hurt. You have the insta health things, which also drop off of enemies. And then at this point, it just has like 4 of the same shield plus the better shield over here. If you manage to loot enough to get the money. Which, once again, because of the Marcus bobblehead, we had more than enough for.
Thanks for the help. You ought to use the machine to sell some things you don't need and buy first aid kits to use on the field. I might not have a med school degree, but when you get shot, you'll be happy I'm here.
See, you don't need a PhD to do my job. I guess people just feel more comfortable with my honest face and bedside manner. Feel free to sell your items at the med vendor and buy some first aid kits for later. I never buy first aid kits. Because to use them, you have to, go into your inventory and use them. So they're just not, and they take up an actual inventory spot that I can use for like loot that I can then sell. So I've just never used them. Alright, kill bandits. Nine Toes placed a few men at a small outpost outside of town across the road and west. Those men report every move we make, so our next move should be to make them dead.
People don't yet trust you. If you're going to ever find the vault, you'll need the aid of the people. Helping Dr. Zed with his Nine Toes problem is a good move.
This is also kind of a weird quest area. I don't know. A weird location that we're going to. Location's good. Because it's one of very few locations where the enemies are like permadead. Like, we're going over here, and when we kill the enemies that are at this location, that's it. They never come back. And it's so weird because every other enemy in the game, including bosses, I do believe, respawns. So, like, why they made this one little bandit camp be like, damn it. Yeah, I think I might, when I start the next part, change out my controller for my wireless one that's here. I mean, my wireless one is 100% a better controller than my wired one that I'm using. But, it being wired, I used to record, like, all 7 videos in one day, and the controller didn't always last.
I'm really good at this.
So it's kind of a pain, because I remember more than one video where I was partway through. And I don't remember what I was recording. I do believe it was something, maybe it was when I was playing Dark Souls or something. And like, obviously my batteries would die, and it would like fuck me horribly. This game, I'm not sure what happens if, like if my controller were to die or disconnect while playing it, but it wouldn't be Dark Souls levels of fuck you, so I think I'll risk it for the right stick to not drift the way this one does. And then I'll see if I can, maybe I'll either try and fix this controller or just fucking buy a new one. Also, this game, a lot of RPGs, right?
Look at all this stuff.
Ooh, a better SMG? Yeah, it is. And I got a scope on it. That's nice. Something like this, you'd be able to pick up. This is for a quest later. This game doesn't let you do quests early. Like, not in the slightest, as far as I'm aware, is there any part of any quest you can do early. Which is fine. because obviously as you're running around doing the quest, you're going to be killing more stuff, getting more experience, so it keeps you properly leveled if you're doing all the quests. But considering that the other, like the game that I'm playing in my free time right now is Immortals Phoenix Rising, the amount of quests, because of the way I play that game, the amount of quests where like I'll talk to someone and they'll be like, hey, can you go and do this thing for me? And Phoenix will be like, you know what? Already done it. And they're like, oh. Like, almost every quest in that game was done before I actually got the quest. Because I just already picked up the thing, already defeated the enemy. You know, like it. But this one here, and that's another reason, like I said, why the exploration isn't... actually, you know what? We are going to go down here, because I do believe... I want to say that there's some more loot at the end of this little thing. But yeah, like, a lot of the times, like, obviously the loot containers are all there. So, like, the exploration is still... Yeah, with the weird skull. Is still at least somewhat worth it, because at the very least you get some money, and you can buy some pretty decent weapons. Like, once again, the weapons in the vendors are all RNG as well. So, I mean, whether or not you get anything good in there, you know, is a crapshoot, but you can still find some pretty decent stuff in there. But there's quests in pretty much every area. So while you could run through and get the loot, when you get the quest for the area, you'll have to run through it again, except that the loot won't be there.
What do you need? I might not have a med school degree.
Well done,
but
friend.
when you
Here's
get
the bounty
shot,
for
you'll
those
be
guys. By the
happy
time
I'm
Nine Toes
here.
realizes we've taken out his eyes, we'll already be making our next move. There's a reward for the death of Nine Toes, but he's elusive. We don't really know where his hideout is. Talk to TK Baja at his farm south of Firestone. He's blind as a bat, but no one knows the area better than he does. Maybe he can help.
I think we're done here.
Well, we've almost got our action skill. But yeah, I fucking love the characters in these games. I will say that. And yeah, like I said, we're playing as Lilith in this one. I don't know who will be playing for the other ones. I know when I did eventually finish and perfect Borderlands 2, I do believe I was Gage, which was a DLC character. But maybe I'll do the same thing that I did with this one and play as each of the characters at least a little bit before recording and make my choice there then. To see who to play as. But the pre-sequel, I remember I really enjoyed playing as the sheriff chick. I don't remember any of their names, I don't think. Was one of them Athena in pre-sequel, maybe? And then obviously there's the doppelganger, but... Oh, and Claptrap. I just don't remember the sheriff's name.
One more step and it'll be your last. You should have seen the look on your face.
But yeah, I fucking love the characters that are in this game. They did very well with them.
Always nice for a fellow to have company out here.
Oh, new kid in town, eh? The name's TK Baja. Wait, I think I heard something. I did hear it. Damn skags getting into my food. Damn them all to hell. You, whoever you are, I want you to go kill those rat bastards. They just stole half my food stores. Go get my food back, then we'll talk after I ain't so pissed off. Still level 2 quests, eh? Wow. That's, honestly a little surprising.
Great company and all, but
Oh, yeah, by the way, these towers, yeah, you don't want to go out past them. It's kind of a weird way to do it, but...
How you liking our
Huh. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not really, I call them a safe, but I guess they're not really safe since they're not locked. But I'm not really sure what else to call a small metal box like that. Or a small square box. You know? But yeah, I like the characters, I like the story. It's just, you know, once we get past a certain point, it'll end up being... The enemies become super tanky. Whereas we don't. I mean, if you play as Brick, I guess you can be.
Aw, did that hurt?
And depending on the character, they have some different abilities. Like, once we level up, we'll look at the skills in that we get as Lilith. And I think we have one that increases our shield capacity, which does technically make you a little bit tankier. But it's still nothing like amazing. Also, because it's Game of the Year edition, you may notice that all of the loot that drops, that's like money, ammo, and that, if it's dropping out of the skag piles or oh, there's a skag whelp.
Yes, feel it.
See, and this is the other... See, like that right there, right? Like, melee attacks just decimate your shield. And there are so many enemies in this game that are melee with, like, leaping attacks or something like that. Like, skags especially are super fucking annoying because, like I said, once we get later, we'll get ones that are basically pointless to shoot in the head, but they still have those leaping attacks like that, and they do a fuck ton of damage. And they didn't seem to program in any kind of like cooldowns on their attacks, so there's been times where I've had one of those where it's just leap attack after leap attack after leap attack, and they just like chain them together, which, as you can imagine, not the easiest to avoid getting just destroyed by, you know. But at least while I was playing with Lilith, not so much rolling though. I did find the game to be significantly easier than I remembered. But I don't know if that was just like I got lucky with loot drops or something, but it did seem to be, or, you know, just like, you know, I'm a lot better at games than I was way back when I fucking played them last. I mean, both things could be true. At least I hope I'm better at games than I was back then,
Hey,
but
newcomer.
because that was quite a
I've
while
been
ago that I
looking for
played
you.
these.
Don't worry about me. I can take care of
Oh,
myself.
I enjoyed listening to
I'll get by
that.
just
Skag
fine.
corpses hitting the
Alright?
ground is like music to
Okay.
my ears. Brought my food back, did ya? Thank you, stranger. So you're looking for Nine Toes hideout. It's over in Skag Gully. Seeing as you helped me with my Skag problem, I'm happy to help you with your Nine Toes problem. Good news. I just heard Marcus reopened his weapon vendor in Firestone. Before you go after Nine Toes, you gotta get yourself some grenades. I'm so happy you killed them Skags that I'd just hand you some, but I don't have any left after my last fishing trip. So head over to Firestone and buy some grenades, then come on back.
You've done well.
Honestly, they have a few quests like this, and it's super fucking annoying.
Head into town and buy some new gear.
Where it's literally like, talk to, well, in this case, TK. And now we run all the way over to Firestone, buy grenades, and then have to come all the way back over here to TK to send us to the next area. And the reason why it's annoying is because we have the Echo communicators, right? Like, they can talk to us from anywhere, and yet we still have to go back to turn in every quest. And it's like, isn't there a better way to do this, you know? Also, I'm not sure why exactly. Let's go. Also, they fucking spawn these bandits, these 3 guys that come out of that hole over there way too often. They're super annoying. They spawn as you approach the front gate of Firestone. And they work their way this way. If the Skags are alive, they'll fight them as well. But I don't think that the Skags ever really stand a chance. Because, you know, they're not the strongest.
Aw, did that hurt?
But yeah, it's super fucking annoying. If you're Lilith, you can avoid them at least somewhat when you get your action skill by using it as you enter or leave town. It may not stop them from spawning, but it'll stop them from approaching because they won't detect you. But yeah, there's a weird thing when I started this game up after getting this one. Because for some reason, I get this feeling that there's something in here. Like, this building opens up, and I feel like I should be coming in here and, like, picking something up or, like, finding some kind of collectible or something. So I'm not sure if that's... it's corrosive sticking. So, like, yeah, I'm not sure if that's something that's, like... if that's something that I'm remembering from, like, a similar thing where a building opens up in, like, Borderlands 2 or something. And we need to go in and get it or what, but... yeah, I really don't know. It's just something about, like, that building opening up makes me feel like I should be going in there and picking something up that's important. But there isn't anything in there, so, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what my brain is connecting that building opening with.
You're not a Skag,
But it clearly isn't
no?
connecting it with the memory of that building opening.
Mostly
Got a grenade or
anyways.
2? Great. That'll come in handy. Now you're ready to go to Skag Gully and shove one of them up Nine Toes' ass. Nine Toes is in Skag Gully, but I barricaded the nearest entrance when the Skags started acting up. I rigged it with explosives just in case I ever wanted to get back in. Always plan ahead, I say. Once you're in, look for my wife's grave. It so happens that I stashed one of her favorite guns behind the grave marker. Used it to kill Nine Toes. She would have wanted it that way. It's actually a pretty decent gun.
Hey now, if you ever need anything at all, just let me know.
But I don't know whether or not we'll use it. But I think we'll head into Skag Gully and then call it there. Because that'll be a good ending point, and we're almost at an hour already. And we do have a little bit of killing and looting to do before we get there. And there's our level up. Which means we get our action skill, which is Phase Walk. Gain the ability to turn invisible and move incredibly fast. Upon entering and leaving Phase Walk, you create a Phase Blast that damages nearby enemies. You can melee attack to end Phase Walk early. And then as we go down, we got Diva, increase the capacity of your shield, chance to daze with your melee attacks, pretty much a useless skill. While Phase Walking, you regen health, that's a pretty decent one. I'll probably start with bullet damage is over there. I don't know. I don't really care for her like final things here. Like killing an enemy causes you to deal fire damage to nearby enemies and make your shots not always cost ammo for a few seconds. 5% chance to save ammo. I do believe when it's maxed out, it's pretty decent. But I mean, the fire damage, it only affects nearby enemies. It's not the best, This one here isn't too bad. Each bullet you fire has a chance to daze enemies, reducing their movement speed and accuracy. It's not bad just because, as Lilith, you should be using SMGs, so you're firing a lot of bullets all at once, so, the chance of them being dazed is pretty good. But yeah, I'll probably, depending on how we go for weapons, like if we get a bunch of good weapons, I'll probably start with like Diva, just so that I can get Inner Glow, so that we can regen health while phase walking. So just so that I have a good way of regenning health. But yeah, like the skill trees in this game are weird. They really have like hit and miss skills, and also like very like build specific skills. Like there are some, like for example, Brick basically has, do you want to go full on melee tank, or do you want to go like explosives, it's, and like Roland has like very supporting skills, but he also has like a lot of skills that, if you're playing solo, are more, well, some are literally worthless. Like he has one skill that's your bullets can, like if you shoot people, your bullets will heal them.
I'm really good at this.
But obviously you can't shoot yourself. I think it works on grenades. I'm not sure if you grenade yourself if you can heal. But even if you could, there's grenades called transfusion grenades that heal you anyway. So you may as well use those. My favorite grenade type, by the way. You toss them out, they explode, and then like a bunch of like little light streaks come out, seek the enemy, do their damage, and then come back and heal you for the damage they did. They're so good. But alright, that'll be it.
I heard that blast all the way over here. Bam! Time to give Nine Toes a piece of that. Woo! I'm updating your ecosystem with his location. Come and see me once you put his bits to the grinder.
Alright, so yeah, we'll end this part here. And next part, we'll head into Skag Gully to kill Nine Toes, and then we'll probably be in and out of Skag Gully, because we'll come back out turning the quest, and then I do believe we'll unlock a bunch more quests that end us with us going back in there. But like I said, it's kind of annoying the way that they have the quest laid out, because it ends up being a lot of back and forth, but once again, you do get some kills as you go, so it's more experience, it keeps you leveled. But thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you on Wednesday for more.